But in general, if we take a sober look and analyze things, we'll realize that the Russian Federation is, well, a rather curious form of gangrene. Gangrene, as a rule, any decaying tissues, gangrenous organs are removed by a surgeon to prevent necrosis from spreading and affecting the entire organism. But Russia is that kind of gangrene that cuts itself off from the healthy body so that the healthy tissues don't interfere with its own decay and stench. You can understand Russia. It fears that the unaffected parts of the body might influence the festering processes and spoil the party. Why am I saying this? Because something incredible happened just the other day. The Russian Federation has cursed Yale University. Yale University, just so you understand, ranks third in the world in academic strength. The Russian Federation has declared this great scientific and educational institution an undesirable organization. In the Russian Federation, any contact with undesirable organizations can land you in prison. That is, you can't mention Yale University, you can't reference its scientific works or the scholars it has produced. Any correspondence with Yale is forbidden, and its diplomas have become a mark of disgrace. In other words, Yale University is now an enemy of Russia. But for the fools in the State Duma, even that wasn't enough. Like any other gangrene, the Russian Federation hates everything that is alive, healthy, and scientific. That's why it has been announced that following Yale, Harvard, Oxford, and Cambridge universities will also be anathematized. And citizens of the gangrene will be forbidden to study at these universities, to visit them, or even to know of their existence at all. Let me remind you that, well, as compensation, the Russian Federation can offer a rather dubious alternative. At the moment, Russia has only pitiful little universities that don't appear in any global rankings at all, like MSU and St. Petersburg University. These universities have long since been turned into compost pits, where all sorts of filth, scraps, leftovers, and waste are mixed together to become fertilizer for Putinism and its so-called traditional values. Of course, one could marvel at the schizophrenic inventiveness of the deputies and the government. But in general, there's no need to be surprised. What's important is to remember that Russia has never needed anyone to show it the way to the underworld. It has always found it on its own. And once there, the Russian Federation has always unerringly picked out the cauldron filled with the hottest, most boiling filth, and it was into that one it would tumble, stewing in it for years, suffering and howling from unbearable torment. This time, by all indications, this cauldron will be the last. It will finally and irreversibly boil away to the relief of the entire world. And by the way, on this cake made up of universities and the curses of universities and the declaration of Yale, Cambridge, Oxford, and Harvard as enemies of the Russian people on this cake of filth, there's also a cherry on top. The person who initiated this process, the cursing of universities, was Sasha Litvinenko, a convicted murderer by the International Criminal Tribunal in Strasbourg, and Deputy Lugovoy, a graduate of the Combined Arms Military School, who barely knows the multiplication table, a supporter of the flat earth theory, a fervent Orthodox fool, and a criminal. But he has long been one of the faces of the State Duma, and by the way, will not be subject to the purging that some deputies will face in 2026, because the regime considers Lugovoy a very valuable asset. So we can see that unlike the special military operation, unlike the SMO, the country's degradation is proceeding according to plan, because we are witnessing increasingly fantastic, increasingly striking, and increasingly unexpected signs of this degradation. And in general, I probably believe that there is little reason to doubt the accuracy of my diagnosis that this degradation will be one of the causes of death itself.